Greetings and welcome to Solarize Raw Vegan Foods, Art and Fitness. I'm your host, Delilah Masani Moraine. Basically, this platform or show is for those who are transitioning to a raw vegan food diet, transitioning from eggs, meat, milk, cheese, fish, chicken, transitioning from vegetarianism, which what I mean by that is transitioning from vegetarianism is processed, like soy, processed food, processed cheese, processed soy, fry patties, and all of that products that are processed, not in its natural form. Okay. And also, I just wanted to, I know today is my first show, and I just wanted to say happy Earth Day to my mom. Today is my mom's birthday. I'm in Belize, so she's in the States. So I'm hoping that she gets this loving vibration of me acknowledging her Earth Day. Okay, like I told you, I'm Masani. I was born in the Boogie Down Bronx, where I graduated from Pratt Institute in Brooklyn and received my Bachelor's of Fine Arts in Fashion Merchandising. 3 months after that, my graduation, I accepted a position in the arts and actually jewelry designing with Robert Lee Morris in Soho. After 5 years of working with Robert Lee Morris, I actually started my own jewelry company, which is Masani Wearable Sculptures. I actually got started in the arts fairly young, way before Pratt Institute, with my grandmother, my childhood, where we did projects together, like restringing beads. My favorite was doing each other's hair. My grandmother shared with me her gifts of expression and non-judgment. I can never thank my grandmother enough in words, so I decided to show it with action by sharing with you my journey to healing through art, fitness, and raw vegan food. My journey started very, very young. I actually grew up in a single-parent home in the inner city. I used art as my ticket to escape mentally from my reality. I would come home from school to a dysfunctional household where I didn't know moment to moment what was happening. My mother was alone with 4 children to raise on her own. And I remember days asking my mom, where's my dad? And she would actually say she doesn't know where he's at, and she would get depressed. So as a child, growing up in a single-parent African-American home, I can recall many, many days where it was anger and not knowing, again, what moment to moment was happening. What also made matters more challenging was the fact that the food I was given to consume was all processed. I remember TV dinners, canned spam, canned vegetables, frozen vegetables, powdered potatoes, canned fruits, frozen fruit, lard, ice cream, processed yellow cheese, white bread, canned soda, processed cakes, white rice, and the list goes on and on. Looking back now, in hindsight, basically what we were consuming and calling food, it stands to reasons why my mother and the rest of my family members spent the majority of their life angry and hostile. Consuming an American standard diet of processed food affected our moods, thinking, and attitude. It took me years to understand the connection between what I was eating and how my food choices affected my brain. So I started vegetarianism, eating processed soy, cheese, and all that, in college. When I was in college, my second year, I was introduced. My roommate was a vegetarian, so we would actually eat food together, and we would go to the food co-op in Brooklyn, Park Slope Sports Club, buy soy pizzas, soy cheese. We would buy bread, a lot of starch. I actually remember not consuming so much vegetables, but consuming more starch and carbs. I actually gained a lot of weight in my years in college. I put on a whole lot of weight because like a lot of soy. Wasn't really exercising, not very physical, spending a lot of time doing projects to meet my academia requirements in college. So I gained a lot of weight. And after that, I went into graduating. I went into working out at the gym. And basically, I became a personal trainer. And I enjoyed it. I still enjoy. I've always been physically active, love activity, love motion, love movement, love dance. Just love it. So I started lifting a lot of weights, still vegetarian. And then I actually stopped being vegetarian. And what be based on that, based on why I stopped, is because I was actually sick. A friend of mine uh, took me to the doctor. My stomach and my lower abdomen was getting bigger, even though I was doing my crunches and everything. I went to the doctor and found out that I had fibroids. So my sister basically informed me of veganism, of not eating any processed food, just fruits, vegetables, seeds, and nuts and herbs. Nothing cooked, nothing processed, no soy, none of that. So I started consuming veganism, just raw vegan, 100% living 10 years ago. 10 years ago. So I've been doing it ever since. And I've also incorporated that into my fitness with my clients, nutrition sessions with my clients. So I've actually been quite happy with that. And also, 10 years of being a vegan, the fibroids are shrinking, so they get smaller. I had 6 large ones in my abdomen, and I actually relocated to Belize to get some more healing, because I needed it. The environment in New York was very toxic for me. The air, the carbon monoxide, the energy, the music, the loud music, the people, the air, the food. Because where I am right now, I grow food, so it's from earth to plate. So after it's grown, it goes right on the plate. It's clean. It goes right on the plate and consumed. So being in New York was a big dilemma for me. The environment also, not feeling 100% whole, the anger of not knowing who my father was. My mother did have me at 14. She was a child, and my father was married with a family elsewhere, so that could never happen. It was he had a relationship with a minor. So my mother, she had resentment and anger and for him, and basically she took it out, emotionally on the children. She didn't know what else to do. She being a child, raising a child, it was very difficult for her. And also my grandmother was not 100% mentally present. So all of these factors played into my anger and me not fully being happy, or just being in an environment where I was being nurtured. Nurturing was out. My mother was distant, cold, and had arrested development. It wasn't her fault. She just had situations that just dictated her behavior pattern. So she sought the company of male, or her too, looking for a father figure in her life. So she had issues with that. So it was just a lot of stuff going on that affected my health. So there you have it. And so right now I'm consuming 100% raw. I'm actually in Belize healing. And even with fitness, I am no longer lifting weights and bulking up. It's more movement, yoga, movement, breathing, hiking, just things like that. Just enjoying the land and being at peace with the land and not beating up on my body to make it into something that it's not. And staying and basically accepting my body in its natural form, and also accepting my feminine energy and embracing me being a woman and not trying to be anything other than my gifts. So this is what the panel is. We're going to be sharing and communicating about art, fitness, and raw vegan food. So thank you for joining me. Look forward to hearing from you. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at DelilahRawFit@gmail.com. Again, DelilahRawFit foodistfit@gmail.com. Look forward to communicating with you on my next show.